Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy, delicious keto bread recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make quick keto pumpkin bread. This bread is a great little breakfast bread. You just slap a little peanut butter or anything on the top of it. Eat it with your morning cup of coffee or anytime you just want a snack. It is wonderful and super easy to make. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So, while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line an 8x4-inch loaf pan with parchment paper. Allow the paper to hang over the sides just a little bit so that you can easily remove the bread once it is baked. In a large mixing bowl, combine 112 grams or around 1 cup of coconut flour, 100 grams or around a half cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your bread. Add 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of dry pumpkin pie spice mix. Now, if you don't want to buy the already made pumpkin pie spice mix, you can use whatever combination of spices that you want. I'm using 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. That's up to you what type of spices you want, and you can also adjust it more or less depending on how much of a spice you want in your pumpkin bread. Sift everything all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients are moist. Add a 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want to add hot butter. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 105 grams or around 7 tablespoons of room temperature plain yogurt or sour cream. Again, you want this to be room temperature so that it mixes in smoothly with the other ingredients and you have a smooth dough, which makes for a lighter bread. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The vanilla is optional. It all depends on if you like a little hint of a vanilla taste in your pumpkin bread. I personally do, so I'm adding the vanilla. If you don't want any vanilla taste, you can always leave that out or adjust it according to your personal taste. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and smooth. Add 218 grams or around 15 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Make sure it is just pure pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling. Pumpkin pie filling has sugar and all kinds of other stuff added to it. You just want the pureed pumpkin. Fold the pumpkin puree in until everything is fully combined and you have a smooth, moist dough that is formed. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Then form the dough into a smooth ball. Massage the dough ball in your hands for about 1 minute. This is going to make sure that you have the right texture of dough, and it's also going to help absorb any extra moisture that there may be in the dough. This is a very moist dough, but it should not be sticky. It should not be sticking to your hands at all. If it is sticking to your hands and it feels like as you're massaging the dough, it's not holding its shape well, then just add very small amounts of coconut flour until the dough is no longer sticking to your hands and the dough is coming together and forming a smooth ball easily. So you're just looking for the dough to be moist and not sticky and holding its shape together in a ball without falling apart. After you've massaged the dough for at least 1 minute and you have the right texture, Form it back into a ball, place it back into your mixing bowl, and allow it to sit at room temperature uncovered for about 5 minutes. This is going to help absorb any extra moisture. As I already told you, this is a very moist dough, so you definitely want to let it sit for a few minutes to absorb any excess. After the dough has set for 5 minutes, place the dough into the center of your prepared loaf pan. Then use your hands or the back of a measuring cup and press the dough evenly throughout the loaf pan. Make sure you get it as even as possible and keep the top nice and flat. Once the dough is pressed evenly, place the pan into your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes or until the bread is golden and a tester comes out clean. Once the bread is done baking, remove it from the oven and allow it to cool in the pan for at least 1 hour so it can continue cooking a little bit and so it can firm up enough so that when you go to remove it, it will not fall apart on you. After you've allowed the bread to firm up in the pan for at least 1 hour, grasp the overhanging parchment paper and carefully lift the bread out of the pan and transfer it to a wire rack. Be careful when you do this, it'll still be a little bit warm, and gluten-free baked goods are always fragile when they're warm. So carefully remove it and put it on the wire rack. Then allow it to cool completely before slicing it. Make sure it is completely cooled. If you try to slice this when it is warm, you run the risk of your bread falling apart on you. Once the bread is cooled completely, slice the bread into your desired size slices. You can top it with some butter or peanut butter or just leave it plain as it is. It tastes great just as it is. You can eat this immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store it in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days, or in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. Or you can freeze this. If you choose to freeze this, then you need to cut it into your desired size slices first. Then put pieces of parchment paper in between each of the slices so they do not stick together. Then place it either in an airtight freezer-safe container or a freezer-safe Ziploc bag, and you can keep it in your freezer for up to 6 months. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.